Hey y'all, whether it's morning, evening, or afternoon, I'm just glad you guys had decided to vibe with E. Yes, the one and only E. Hey y'all, if you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And for the ones that are not new to this, but true to this, hey y'all, what's up? What's poppin'? I want y'all to keep in mind that bad times don't last forever. After every storm, there is a rainbow. And you're getting closer and closer every day to that rainbow, that pot of gold, that light in the tunnel, whichever one you prefer, my friend. Please keep in mind that slow and steady wins the race. You got this. And most importantly, give yourself grace in this season that you're going through. Okay? Alrighty, y'all. Once again, hey y'all, what's up? What's poppin'? If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And for the ones that are not new to this but true to this, hey y'all, what's up? What's poppin'? Again, if you're watching on the video, I'm so sorry about my appearance, but baby, like I just said, life is lifing. And how life is lifing for me, my hair's not done. As y'all can see, I got these two little buns in my head that needs to come out ASAP Rocky because they need a good wash and a good condition, the shampoo and condition for real. Shout out to Baskin Lather because that has been helping my hair so much, like literally has been helping my hair. My nails not done because I took my press-ons off because I'm trying to get my nails to grow back, and they are growing back, and I do need to put a new set on. And yeah, y'all know I don't wear, well, if y'all don't know, I don't wear lashes no more. So, well, I wear them here and there, but I wear my mascara, but it is what it is. Regardless, I look somewhat presentable, even though I'm not glamified. I was ready to say chic, but I'm not glamified, but I'm here. I'm here. That's the most important thing. I'm here, blind and all, because y'all, these are not the prescription glasses. I need to get my prescriptions in these. But nevertheless, as y'all can see by the title of today's Vibe of the Day, this impacts with everything I have going on with life, and probably you do, and a friend of yours, or whatever the case may be. So we're going to tap right into this, okay? But most importantly, y'all, want to give y'all a little heads up. We have reached 60 newsletters. I repeat, we have 60 newsletters. If you are interested in being a part of getting all the luscious and amazing information before it drops on the episodes, and more episodes to come, please feel free to click the link in my bio that says Linktree, whichever way you listen or watch me or follow me on Instagram, and scroll down to the bottom where it says sign up for weekly newsletters. Insert your email. Once I receive it, you will be added onto the newsletters email list, and so on and so on. And then you can personally tell me too, if you want me to stop, we can stop. Okay, but yes, y'all, we have reached 60 newsletters. Dope. Amazing. I'm here for it. Thank you all so much. And we're going to keep going and going and going. So we're still in this process of August theme, the reset season, preparing your mind for what's next. As we are in this busy season, you know, I feel like August is where things get shaky. It gets sticky because, like, okay, we learned all this walking boldly and stuff. Now I got to pause that real quick because I have to see. Now I got to prepare for what's next because we are in the second half of the year. Once August comes, y'all, that's where, like, next is September, holiday time, and all that comes to play. And slowly but surely, the year is coming to an end. So this is why I did this, because we need to reset a little bit, start over. Everything that we did learn in the beginning of the year, we're still going to implement that into the rest of the year. But right now we need to pause, reflect, and give ourselves grace so we can figure everything out, because we're going to let it all, work out for its own good. Okay, as well as too, August is Wellness Month, so I hope you guys are doing what's needed for your wellness, whatever it is, big or small, whatever, do what is needed. Okay, this is our third Wednesday of the month, and next Wednesday will be our last Wednesday, which is a wellness lesson. So that'll be deeper into, as we come to a close for August, we'll tap into the wellness side more on our wellness lesson 29. If I'm not mistaken, it's either 29 or 30. But yes. So yeah, y'all, as we continue through August, like I told y'all what's going on, this week reminder is simple but powerful. You don't have to have it all figured out. Keep moving forward. You don't have to have it all figured out to keep moving forward. Even while you're moving forward, things are happening in the midst of it. People fail to realize that even when we're going through things in life, we're not going to have it all figured out. For example, me, Y'all, I'm done with school. I'm not going back for a doctoral degree or PhD. I said I want it so bad, but it's like after seeing them loans, no, absolutely not. And the way I'm giving y'all a prime example because the amount I seen, I said, oh hell no. But then also too, when you are in the clinical world or whatever the case may be, because I went to school 3 times. I have an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, and a master's degree. I went to school for down there 5.5 years. Okay, straight. I'm gonna enjoy this, but also too, looking back at those degrees, the amount of money and stuff. And you know, when we map out all these things in life, we feel like, okay, we should have it all together. You know, it should all work out. No, that's why it's important to understand that you don't have to have everything all figured out. Even when you keep moving forward, it's going to get done. Bills need to be paid regardless. You're going to pay a bill and it's up until the day, God forgive me, you die. And it's crazy because it's true. Even regardless if the bill is a bigger bill or a small bill, you're still paying it. But keep on paying it because it's yours and you don't want no late fees and you don't want the state to try to take out your taxes or your paycheck. Yeah, prime example. Just give me a little examples of how like you don't have to have it all figured out. So I'm like, okay, I knew these loans were going to have to get paid some type of way. They're going to have to get paid either way. But I'm like, okay, I wish I had the money today so I could just snap. It's impossible. That's how we feel about our problems. Like we should have it all figured out, but you don't have to have it all figured out. It's life. You have your ups and downs and you need to embrace, okay, I can't do this right now. It may not be happening, but it's going to get done one way or another. Like I say, bad times don't last forever. After every storm, there is a rainbow. Cause y'all, I guarantee y'all, when I was looking at them loans, I bust down crying. I said, I would need another job again. Like, in this economy, sometimes you might need 2 or 3 more. Oh, but it's like, come on now. I don't look, give yourself some grace. I'm freshly out of grad school. I have a job, thank God. And yes, all jobs comes with hiccups and stuff, but you got to make the best of it. And that's what I'm doing. Regardless, if I'm having a bad day, I'm still finding the win, even if it's through my job, personal, whatever. Still find a win because you don't have to have everything all figured out right now. Okay? So we live in a world, like I said, where everybody seems to have the perfect plan or should have everything all figured out. No, social media makes it looks like everyone has their career figured out, your family, your friends, everybody too, their relationships figured out, their finances together, their purpose, their personal identity, and the next 5 years mapped out. Let me tell y'all something. It's impossible. It's possible because it feel like now, meanwhile, you're sitting there like, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing. And that's okay. Long as you're doing it. I respect a person that's able to identify that they're doing something rather than a person that's not doing nothing at all or trying to have it all figured out literally in one night. That's me sometimes. I'm like, okay, I'll make sure this done. It's impossible because once you do that, it's going to be harder for you to even see, okay, if you would have took the short route, my friend, it still wouldn't be good. Take it day by day, step by step, because you don't have to have it all figured out right here and right now. Okay? And that's okay. You're not behind. You're not. Because I feel the same way, y'all. Be like, I feel like I'm behind. But then people be like, how the hell you behind if I'm just starting school, if I'm just trying to figure things out? You know, so you have to appreciate them small wins because they're going to help you as much in life too with them big ones. And it's crazy because people be like, I want that big win. Yes, we all do. But in the midst of it, celebrate the small ones because that's helping you to prepare for that big win. In the beginning, the middle, of the end, whatever's going on in the midst of the trimester that you're going through, keep in mind that you don't have to have everything figured out right now, but still be able to be blessed and highly favored. Some people be like, I don't like saying highly favored, but be blessed, grateful, and thankful. That's my saying. I'm blessed, thankful, and grateful. Yes, ma'am. With everything I have, even in the midst at times when I do feel like, dang, I wish I had it all figured out. It's impossible. Be grateful that you do have a plan because like the saying, if there's a will, there's a way. Because it is. It is. But you cannot compete when you can't compare to others on how they getting it. Don't do that. And don't have outsiders trying to make you feel like you're behind when 9 times out of 10, he, she, them, or they ain't even nowhere holding a candle to you. You get what I'm saying? So we gotta right now, that's why this theme is very perfect too within our wellness month, to understand that we're in a reset season. We got to reset. You know, things is it's about to be the jump off. Little Kim told y'all it's a jump off. And things about to jump off in your life because we're towards, not too far towards the end of the month. We're in month 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We got 4 more months in this year. Appreciate it, love on it, but most importantly, do what's necessary for you. Appreciate them small and the big wins in the beginning, the middle, of the end of the journey that you have accomplished. Most importantly, keep in mind that them bad times are not going to last forever. They're not. Be grateful, thankful, be blessed, thankful, and grateful for every moment in your life. Okay? So like I said, you're not falling behind. You're not falling behind because your mind changed. Hold on, y'all. Wait a minute. I feel like I'm jumping a little bit to the weekly challenge. And like I said, I don't have my glasses on. So let's go back to it. Okay, here we go. Like I said, and that's okay. It's okay if you still have things, if you're trying to figure out life. Let it all work out. But be happy that you got some motion, because there's some people that ain't got shit going on. No fucking motion. And they try to tell you what to do. Absolutely not. You're not behind because your journey doesn't look like somebody else's. Don't compete. You can't compare because you can't hold a candle to them, and vice versa. You're not falling. You're not failing, and you're not falling either. You're not failing because you change your mind. You are not lost because you don't know what exactly comes next. We don't know. It's impossible. Like, sometimes I wish I had a genie in the bottle, but it's impossible. Sometimes I wish I could see what the future holds, but you don't want to ruin the surprise. Sometimes clarity comes after you start moving, not before. This is your reminder to stop putting pressure on yourself, to have every answer, and start trusting yourself enough to take the next right steps. This hits me too, y'all. Even though that I'm teaching y'all, even the teacher is learning too. I'm learning too, because I am still learning that you cannot have it done like that. You don't have to have it all figured out. Bills are going to be bills. And now that you're in this predicament, if you're starting to pay bills, like them hard bills like me too, it's like, what the fuck? And it's like, it's life. That's why you got to be thankful and grateful for your parents and guardians that kept implementing in your head the importance of savings, but also paying your bills on time, but most importantly, being organized and well prepared for what's the world to come. And even if you aren't late, that's okay, long as you are equipped to it. Because I'm telling you, the more and more you wait to pay stuff off, the more and more it's hurting your credit, and it's hurting you with a lot of other stuff. Okay? But let's move on. This week's challenge, I want you guys to ask yourself these two questions. 1, what am I putting pressure on myself to have figured out right now? What is it? I just told y'all one for me. My loans. I want somebody to pay them off ASAP. And someone meaning me. Because, you know, when you just starting, you can't get them paid off till 6 months. I just did some research on that. Whatever it is, I'm using me as an example. What am I putting pressure on myself to have figured out right now? My loans and some other stuff I have dealing with school that I want. Some more certifications and stuff under my belt. You can write it down or say it out loud or record it. Then I want you to ask yourself this. What is actually within my control today? Focus on that. So for me, y'all, within my control for today, I can't pay that whole big lump sum amount of money I seen on there, the many digits. Well, not too many. Let me not scare y'all. The amount of digits I seen, I can't pay that right now. It's impossible to just snap my hands, snap my fingers and get it done. No, but what I can actually control today is that I am able to pay for the amount that I can. I'm able to afford that. And whatever you're thinking about. So ask yourself, what am I putting pressure on myself for to have it figured out? Me, I said my loans. Then write out or say it out. Then ask yourself, what is actually within your control? How can you control that? Well, I got payments. That's what they give you them payments for. Them payments for how much you're going to pay for them. And whatever else the case may be, my friend. I want you to focus on that and understand that you don't need the entire map. I am a sucker for turning a dream into reality. putting it on a blueprint, taking it one day at a time. If you got to go back to the blueprint, erase stuff, add stuff, do stuff, do so. But you don't need the entire map mapped out. It's not, because every day is something new. It is. You don't need the entire map. You don't need to have it all figured out. Like, okay, doing them turn 30. When I turn 40, this time we're going to go. When I retire, y'all, for my retirement, they said 67, 62. 62, you can retire. Matter of fact, even 67. I said, that's years. That's like 4 decades or so from now. Like, no. Let me live. When I seen that, y'all, from the IRS, I said, okay, thank you, friend, but not right now. So you don't need the entire map. Like, don't have that map mapped out to win the retirement. Don't do that. You don't need to do that. You don't. You just need the next steps. Permit yourself to learn as you go. Change your directions when necessary. Like me in a car, sometimes you go the long way. Though sometimes you go the shortcut, but baby, sometimes if you feel like, I need to take the long way to due to whatever, do so. That's how you do with your life. And trust that the uncertain doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It's not. Because stuff happens in the blink of an eye. You got to just be powerful and be standing 10 toes on it, because another thing too, the tongue is a powerful thing. You want to make sure you stay in things that's in existence, but the positive, not the negative. Because y'all be like, you know what? In my mind, them thoughts your mind play tricks on you too, because we are our biggest critic. But we want to say out loud good things so the negative things can shoot fly, don't bother me, and fall out in the flow. Okay, so sometimes you're not lost, you're becoming. And right now in this season, where we're in the rest season, we're resetting, getting all figured out, meaning that we don't have to have it all figured out. We're understanding that sometimes we're not lost, we're just becoming in this. You know, I once was lost from true, but now I'm found. What they say, was blind and now I see. I don't know the rest, but that's the part I remember. But yes, life goes on, and we just have to understand, once we want things to go like this. I know I did. I be like, look, get it together, come on. Like, but you got to think, time, like, hold on. It can't happen like that, because take, for example, you went to school for 5 years. Did you think you was going to go to school for 5 years? Absolutely not. But I did it, and it wasn't just for 1, it was for 3 degrees. So yeah, I had to put my medication glasses on, y'all, because forget that all being cute. Y'all gonna see me in the roughest way possible, because this is raw and uncut. This is how I am. Okay. So vibe it out with guests. We're still accepting guests. There will be no guest appearances this week. Okay. But we're still accepting guest appearances from one-on-one sessions, for group sessions up to 3. We are available in person and online within Zoom, Google Meets, and Teams. You don't have to have everything figured out before you share your story either. Sometimes your experiences, lessons, and perseverance can be exactly what someone needs to hear. Okay, so if you have a business, or you have a story to tell, or a conversation that could help someone in this space, please fill out that vibing out with guest forms. It's 2 forms, and also the calendar form. The agreement, the form that's focused on like all the information, and the calendar, so you can insert the date that you want to vibe out. I'm vibing with you. You vibing with me. I'm vibing with you. Okay, and most importantly, I thank you all so very much for being a part of the Vibing Out with Guests community, as well as you guys are a part of the Vibing with E community. For the guest that has came on there once or multiple times, I sincerely appreciate you guys. Also, the listeners, the followers, whatever the case may be, I appreciate you guys, because without you guys, this community wouldn't be how it is. And yes, we haven't had a guest appearance, I want to say, I think a month or 2 now. It's okay. It's all right. I'm still going to give y'all what y'all need with either series. And I appreciate you all so very much. I really do. Like I said, guest bookings are still open. Come be a part of the Vibing Out with Guests community so we can have a conversation. I love to talk, as you can see. We didn't get to the nitty gritty part yet, but we're going to get there. So the quote of the week, no. Oh, shoot. I should have said no. but I put you on there. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to trust yourself enough to take the next step. It would have been cool to have the no you don't, but I think you don't. You shouldn't have college education. Okay? But you don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to trust yourself enough to take the next step. Plain and simple. With impacting today's vibe of the day, you don't have to have it all figured out. Okay? And as always, please stay connected, guys. Please follow the podcast page on Instagram at vibing.with.e. Okay? Now let's get into the nitty gritty. Where is my water? Because I'm feeling like I'm getting a little parched. There we go. Okay, shout out to Stanley for these little Stanley cups too. Ta-da! Try to get some sponsors, Paskin Leathers, maybe Stanley, Diff on the eyewear, Give me something. Give your girl something. But yes, y'all, today's Vibing with E weekly vibe check, where meaningful conversations meets growth in real life connections. Wednesday drop. Today is Wednesday, August 19th, 2026, and you guys are tuned in for a new episode. We have reached 169 episodes, and today's vibe of the day is you don't have to have it all figured out. Okay, and that focus will be impacting letting go of pressure, embracing uncertainty, and trusting your journey. This week's episode is for anybody feeling pressure to have life completely figured out. We're talking about uncertainties, compassion, expectations, and mental health, and the pressure to know exactly where you're going before you had the opportunity to explore where life is taking you. Hard to the core, I know. In this episode, we will cover why feeling uncertain doesn't mean you're failing, the pressure to have your career, relationships, finances, and future figured out, how social media can make you feel behind in your own life, learning, because I'm looking at the other one, learning to trust yourself while you're still figuring things out, letting go of unrealistic timelines and outside expectations, the naysayers, how uncertainties can impact your mental and emotional wellness, and most importantly, last but not least, focusing on your next step instead of needing to have the entire plan mapped out. So this episode is a reminder that you don't need all the answers to move forward. Sometimes the journey itself is where you discover who you are becoming. Okay, so I am so glad that you guys are turned. I hope you are turned. I hope you are turned up on that drink. You turned up on that drink. But I hope you guys are tuned in for an honest conversation about pressure, uncertainty, comparisons, and sometimes compassion that may not be good compassion, and learning to trust yourself within your own journey. Okay, so without further ado, I want you guys to sit back, relax, and enjoy hearing my voice, or watch me on YouTube, whether you're on the go, moving around, whatever the case may be. I want you guys to get comfortable. Turn me up on your PCs, your monitor, your laptops, your phones, tablets, car radios, Alexas, Beats, Pills, Google Dots, whatever you listen to me on, because as always, every vibe of the day is something special. Okay? And if you're new here, I break down every lesson of the day. Well, Lord, I'm thinking about next week. Every vibe of the day with repeating the vibe of the day, break it down into the definitions, the 5 W's, the repeating the quote of the week, as well as doing a thank you for vibing in to exit us out. Okay? Alrighty. So once again, y'all, we have reached 169 episodes, and today's vibe of the day is you don't have to have it all figured out. And this is focusing on letting go of pressure, embracing uncertainty, and trusting your journey. Trusting yourself within this journey. Okay, so the definition. This, I love to insert and start off the conversation with a definition, because what out? What does you don't have to have it all figured out really mean? And in so many ways and so many different aspects, we have so many definitions of what it is. For me, it's like, you don't need to permit yourself to have it all done. You, like I just mentioned, within your emotional, your physical, every day something is not going to be perfect. Going back to the scale of what we talked about during last week's episode of protecting your peace during a busy season, as well as to checking in with yourself before you check in with everyone else. Within this topic, you don't have to have it all figured out, is also trickled down to the previous episodes of this month. So with this being said, you don't have to have it all figured out, meaning permitting yourself to be in the middle of your journey without consistently feeling like you're behind. We live in a world where everyone seems to have a 5-year plan, a degree, a career, a relationship, a house, a business, and their mental health together. Baby, no. Everything is not glitter and gold on the outside, because it takes a long process and time for that to happen, okay, to even unfold. And social media will have you questioning your whole life by 10 a.m. And you're still having these, and still real life doesn't work on one universe. Where it doesn't work on one universe timeline. Everybody's timeline is different. You got the East, the Pacific, West, all. We're in so many different ways. It's impossible. Centric, all that. Sometimes you're supposed to figure it out as you go. I feel like you're supposed to figure out as you go always, because sometimes it's not going to always unfold out the way we want to. That's why we let it all work out as we're in this process. Not knowing what's next doesn't automatically mean you're lost. It doesn't. Like I told y'all, sometimes it means you're learning, changing, and growing and discovering what actually works for you. Like I said, what you see on social media with the content creators or whatever, even me myself probably, what I'm doing may not work for you right now, but it may work towards some point in your life that you may need it, and vice versa. When I look at content creators, and sometimes I watch movies or TV shows, whatever, in the midst of what I'm watching and listening, it may not have worked for me as it worked for the other person. For example, I love the show Miss Pat. Certain ways that she handles certain things, it couldn't have worked for me when I had whatever going on. But now some of the things that I'm seeing, like learning you gotta laugh to keep from crying. You gotta laugh to keep from crying. I'm learning that every day. And sometimes too, you're learning that you cannot always have to have things figured out, even though, because you feel like, oh, for example, once again, I have 3 degrees. It's impossible to feel like, okay, I'm out of school now. Boom, I gotta find that job that's gonna make sure I have the 6 figures. Sometimes you can't have it if you don't have them credentials. Be grateful that you didn't stop. You got the first entry level was to get that degree, and you still have time to get the extra credentials. But in the midst of it, give yourself grace, because you didn't have to have it all figured out, y'all. I didn't know that I was going to get this far, because I'm gonna tell y'all, my career goals were changing like a car radio. Sometimes I'm like, okay, 1 minute, got the latest song on, I'm keeping with that. I'm staying with this major. The next is like, oh, no. But it happened during the pandemic, y'all. It didn't happen during college now, because look, I watched this Christmas, and y'all seen when Lauren London went to Spelman, and they said every man she was going with, she changed that major with them. No. But what I will say, even though I changed the career path before really getting into college, whatever career I wanted to go into first still implements what I'm doing now, but it's just different. Law is different. I didn't take the bar exam. Social work, you gotta take the other type of exams. So yeah, different scenario, but it all still ties in together, because sometimes it means you're learning, you're changing, and you're growing and discovering what really works for you. Actually work. Like I said, what may work for you may not work for me. What you eat don't make me go to the bathroom, and vice versa. It's a different game we play. We can eat the same thing, and it may be delicious and maybe nasty as hell to you. It all depends. And I feel like to the media, we get stuck on the media and competing where we can't compare with people. That's where it has us like, dang, I need to have it all figured out like they did. It's impossible, because sometimes, people be talking about people that grew up with a silver spoon mentality, all that, baby. It took a minute for this to come. It is not like that. Some are born in royalty, cool, but it don't happen like that. It takes time, literally, to push content out, but also just to be vocal and all that. It takes time. So be mindful that we can't compete, we can't compare with everybody. Okay, we can't do that, because you can have goals without knowing exactly how you're going to reach them. You can change your mind. You can start over. You can take your time. Uncertainty is not failure. It's a part of your becoming. Uncertainty is not your failure. It's a part of becoming. I know some people, even including myself years ago, when I had to take my permit test. Y'all took that permit test so many times. Let me say I took it like 5 times. Yeah, 5 times in order for me to get it. And you learn too in the process, like at times, you know, some people are good test takers without having to study. Some are good with study. It all depends. And for me, y'all, my mindset was like, look, motherfucker, I need to drive. So give me the permit so I can prepare for the provisionals and get this started. Yeah, y'all, I'm telling y'all, the first time I did it, that shit ate me up. I'd rather beat up everybody in the car. That's how bad it was, because when your mind is set on, like, I know from the get-go, on the first time I have it. No, you don't have to have it all figured out, because you can keep on going. Dust yourself off and try again. Aaliyah told you. And now I have to really understand that too, because y'all, it's been times where I'm like, you know what? Nope. I studied this hard stuff. Why it didn't happen? And it's okay. Your nervous system may be like, we know the material, but right now, I gotta go back, spend a little more time, and that's what I did, y'all. And when I passed on the 5th time, or whatever the case was, I did it. And then I let the damn thing expire and had to go back. But hey, it is what it is. Okay, but I want y'all to keep in mind that uncertainty is not a failure. It's a part of your journey. It's a part of who you're becoming, because we don't have to have it all figured out. Meaning, like, we cannot permit ourselves to be in the middle of our journey without consistently feeling everything. But I do want y'all to keep in mind, like, do not feel like you're behind, because what you're doing, somebody else may be observing and like, dang, I want to be like you. Like, we live in a world too where it seems like everybody has a 5-year plan and is figured out. Baby, it takes time. Like with the degree, shoot, I had some classmates that were like in their late 20s, pushing 30s, getting their first degree. It's never too late, but don't compare with their careers. I'm in my career, but I'm not at the point where I want to be, but I'm still in my career and I'm learning as you go, because it's like stairs. You're leveling up as you go. Relationships. I'm not in a relationship. Not. But I love to see love in the air. Good, genuine, true, real love. Like Anita Baker said, you know, I want to know what good love feels like. Good love too. But right now, we ain't going to deal with that right now. Even too within friendships, people see like within the best friend goals. Also too with family relationships, the aunties and nieces duos, the nephews and the uncles, the father-daughters, the mother and son, grandma baby, grandpa baby, all those type of things. So it's, you know, having that house, that business, and their mental together, baby. It's not it's not going to come overnight. It takes time. Like, the uncertainty is not a failure. It's a part of the journey. Like for me, I've been in this for 3 years now with Vibing with E. It's not, the followers on Instagram is not in the thousands. We're still in 200s. Like, we ain't hit 300. We ain't hit 300 yet. And I'm okay with that, because I'm still pushing the content, because that's what I'm doing. It's going to come. You don't have to have it all figured out, long as you're learning and understanding that uncertainties is not a failure. It's not. It's a part of what you're becoming. So don't feel like, damn, she just started and she got all these people. Baby, you know there's a thing too, people still buy their followers. Not trying to dog it enough, but just saying. You know, and it all takes time, because it's also too about being consistent within your life. You don't have to have it all figured out, but you still could be consistent in what you're doing. Okay, so who is impacted? Who needs this message the most to understand that you don't have to have it all figured out? Everyone, regardless of what titles you hold, all that, everyone. This message is for anyone who feels like, but mainly this feels like they should be further along now. It's for the person who keeps comparing their life to their friends, siblings, classmates, co-workers, or people they see online. It's for the person who graduated and still don't know what career they want. The person who's working but doesn't know who doesn't know they want something different. The person questioning a relationship, the person trying to figure out finance, or the person who simply doesn't know what the next chapter looks like. It's especially important for young adults who are constantly being asked, so what's next? Let's pause on that one. Let me tell y'all, that's a question that ate me up so damn bad as a child, but not even as a child, as an adult that has, let me say it like Mimi Faust, be an adult, as an adult. After I got all my degrees, people was like, okay, so you gonna drive now? Mind your business. So what's next? We gonna drive now? We gonna get a house? We gonna find a man? Like, what's next? I'm gonna enjoy this. Like I said, enjoy every minute of it. Celebrate them big and small wins. And that's why I tell people, I'm like, you know what? What's next? Me learning and enjoying my new normal. I will never forget my chairman at Morgan State University for the School of Social Work for PSW. She was real big on helping us understand that when things in life happens, we want to go back to normal. It's impossible. Enjoy the new normal. Enjoy what's going on in your life now. I will never forget that. And that's what I've always stuck to since I've been in that class and was in that program in 2023. 3 years ago. You have to enjoy your new normal. You cannot do so what's next right after that. Y'all, I cannot lie. After graduating, I want to say with probably my associate's degree, people was like, so what's next? Little did everybody know I did apply for Morgan, got into Morgan even before graduating. But I knew for my mindset, I'm going to go to Morgan. I said, right now, I'm going to go to Morgan, but right now I'm enjoying life. I'm going to work, run the summer up, because y'all, I was doing doubles sometimes when I should not have done doubles, but I ain't had nothing going on in the summer. Okay, so it's like, when you ain't got really much going on, you run it up. Even though I did turn, I forgot how old I turned, but I still enjoyed my birthday, but I also still made money. I did what was best for me and not what people expect to be. So what's next? You gotta do what's for you. You don't have to tell everybody what's going on. It's like you can't tell your right hand what your left hand is doing. You gotta do what's for you. Because also sometimes that question, it does sound harmless. It sounds harmless, but when you already putting pressure on yourself, it can feel like another reminder that you don't have an answer. That's why I said for me, like, it used to piss me off when people be like, so what's next? Because it sounds harmless, but when you already is pushing pressure on yourself to be the person that you want to be, and then it's another reminder that you don't have an answer. It's like, well, damn. What the hell? What the hell? But that's why this conversation also matters for anyone who's mentally being affected by this, who is being affected by this comparison mess, like this having to have it all figured out, this perfection and everything, because anxiety about the future or the belief that they have to have everything figured out before they're allowed to feel successful. That's one thing too, I say, that impacts with enjoy and live in the moment, because regardless how big or small it is, enjoy it. Like, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, doing my master's program, 9 to 11 months, that type of timeline or whatever, every little thing, I embraced it. I had a class that was from fall semester 9. All my 9 classes was from 6 to 9. This one in particular, my professor was like, the moment 6 o'clock rolled, she's rolling. The moment 9 o'clock comes, you're being dismissed. I was terrified of this lady. And yeah, if I think I see it in person, I'd be terrified even more. But I will say this, that class was hard. Master's degree, there's more and more you level up, it's going to get harder, but you have to be able to deal with it. For some people, it's not. Towards a certain point, I was like, okay, this is nothing, but having that stuff in your place is like, okay, cool, what's up? Nevertheless, that class gave me hell. But when I passed that class with an A-, I sure did gave myself praise, because this is hard. This is a hard class. I'm thinking, and that's the thing too, I kept in mind, I'm gonna keep a 4.0 overall for graduate until I walk across the stage. I'm like, motherfucker, you an advanced student. Of course you have to keep your GPA up. I graduated with a 3.88 or 3.91, whatever. Last year, For my bachelor's program, I graduated with a 3.6. Magnum, what was it? Magnum cum laude. Hey, it's not easy. But give yourself the praise, because school is not easy. Everything you do in life is not easy. That's why I say, please celebrate and enjoy the small and the big moments. Enjoy the moment of it, because that's something you can look back on and say, dang, even though I took this big leap and had to deal with all the consequences that came with it, still give yourself the praise for it, because this is where you belong. And you don't need nothing or no one to try to tell you don't belong there. And it's okay not to have everything all figured out. I didn't. My peers, my friends and I, even my mom went to school and stuff when she had me, and other people I know went to school with their kids and stuff. They didn't have it all figured out, but they knew what they wanted. So going back to, like, for adults, young adults, whatever, you know, when people ask you what's next, that question, it does sound harmless or it does seem a little harsh, but it's like, you're entitled to say what you want to do and how you want to interpret. Me, I'm like, so what's next? I'm gonna enjoy this real quick. I'm gonna enjoy life real quick. I'm gonna enjoy life without being academically tied down. Okay? And then once I get the feel of this and get my job and my career and everything, then I'm good. Stop trying to beat the clock down. I'm still learning too. You can't beat the clock down. The clock always gonna tick. Bills gonna have to be paid. Everybody want their money off the top. But still enjoy life and still give yourself the praise, because that's what matters. You don't have to have it all figured out. Uncertainty is not failure. It's a part of what you're becoming, my friend. And don't be ashamed, and don't you forget it. Okay? Because also to y'all, what is the benefit? What is the benefit? Like, what happens when what happens when you stop pressuring yourself to have every answer when it comes to, you don't have to have it all figured out? Well, when you stop demanding immediate answers from yourself, you create room actually to learn who you are and what you want. Going back to, so what's next? You tell yourself that. Even if you don't have the 3-month plan, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months equals to a year, 3, 4, 5-year plan, that's okay. That's what short-term goals are for and long-term goals are for. You're the one in control. This is your bus. This is your plane. This is your train. Whatever. You're in control of this. So you are able to say how you want, what you want, and how you want it, why you want to do it. This on you, friend. I'm not discouraging you. I'm that friend that's going to cheer you on and make sure that you're mentally okay. And you know, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how I'm feeling emotionally, physically, and all this stuff. I'm here. And if I need a break, that's okay. Because you got to protect your peace also when you're going through these seasons of understanding that you don't have to have it all figured out. And most importantly, you got to check in with yourself before you check in with everybody else. Everybody else and everything else around you. So when you stop demanding immediate answers from yourself, you create room actually to learn who you are and what you want. Instead of making decisions based on fear, on people pleasing or outside expectations, which is the naysayers, people pleasing or whatever. You can make decisions based on your values, expectations, with your experiences and your goals. You stop asking, am I behind? That's one thing we're going to stop right now. I'm going to hold your hand real tight when I say this, friends. We're going to stop asking we're behind. Because you got to think about it. You came too far to be where you at right now to have you feeling like, oh, we behind. No, the hell we're not. You done some things that you probably didn't even think of. It's like when you write them letters to yourself when you was a child, and then you discover them as you're probably in high school, about to go to college or finish college, got a job, whatever the case may be. And you discover them years later in your young adulthood or your older adult, whatever, you discover them. You be like, damn. Sometimes those dreams and goals, aspirations we had as a child, we may or may not have accomplished. Mine said, oh, we're going to have 3 to 4 degrees. Baby, when I look back at that, I was on my 2nd degree. I said, oh, and then I was like, and I'm in the process of getting the 3rd one. That 4th one, I don't know where we're going to get that from, because I don't know. But as long as I have it, you got it. Okay? And also, too, like, you never know. It's unpredictable. love when Jamie Foxx wrote the song Unpredictable, but the message don't imply with what I'm saying for the title of Unpredictable in this conversation, but it probably can within your relationship. I don't know. But it's unpredictable. Today, it can be unpredictable. Enjoy the moment, live in the moment, do it like it's your B-day, but most importantly, do what's necessary for you. Because, like I said, you can stop asking, am I behind? And start asking, what's the right move for me? That's what I'm learning. I'm like, I feel like I'm behind because of my age. Like I told my mother, we had a conversation. I'm like, Mom, when you were my age, you had me. Not only did you have me, you had a job, you had a house, and you were with my dad. And she said, and our stories are different. You're not behind. You got to ask yourself, what do E want for her? She said my government name, y'all. She said Erica. But in this state, I was like, that hit the core. It hit me to the core. Not like Mimi Faust said it hurted her to the core. It hit me to the core, but it did hurt me previous times when I asked myself, when I behind? But when my mom had justified, like, you gotta do what's for you, that hit me to the core of like, yeah, you gotta stop that. Because you also permit yourself to make mistakes without believing one wrong decision can ruin your life, ruin your entire future. Is not. Y'all, when I tell y'all, when you fail exams on the first try and stuff, it feel like the world is crashing down. But it's not. That's why attempts are still happening. Even though you got to pay, some you got to keep paying on, do so. In the end, it's going to pay back for sure. Especially like when I see nurses, therapists, even social workers fail exams and stuff and have to go back and take it. And some be like, look, this is not 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th time taking it. And money, yeah, the amount of money they spent, they're most definitely getting it back because now they did this and they're getting their money back behind it. I know it hurts like hell because I tell y'all, the amount of times I kept having to go to NVA and the NVA, I knew they was like, I'm gonna just give you a job here. But that goes to show how consistent you are, and you don't have to have it all figured out, but you have to figure out when you are ready to and when you want to have it. Okay? Because life is not a straight line. Sometimes the job you thought you wanted isn't for you. Prime example, my first job offer I got straight out of college, I thought it was for me because I worked for the company before, but I didn't work in that department as a social worker. I was a full-time social worker. They had me as a social worker assistant because of the credentials. But then getting the feel of it and the sense of it is like, this is not for me. Something's on to, I had to move on to the next. And that's okay. Also, too, sometimes the relationships change. Within a romantic relationship, family, friends dynamic, it changes. For the worse or for the better. And you have to be able to deal with it. Sometimes the plans get flipped. It's like even within our day, it gets flipped. Like for me, I didn't have no clients today. I had to flip the script. I said, okay, now what I gotta do? What can I do to keep me busy? You know? Being able to adjust without attacking yourself is a form of emotional maturity and most importantly, resistance. Keep that in mind. But I want y'all to also keep in mind, we need to stop asking ourselves, am I behind? And start asking, what's the right move for me? With also being able to adjust without attacking ourselves in a form of emotion. We need to be able to adjust without attacking ourselves in a form of emotional maturity and resilience. Okay, so when should someone remind themselves that they don't have to have it all figured out? So you may need to remind yourself when things go wrong, or when remind yourself when you don't have it all figured out is when you feel consistently comparing your timeline to someone else. We're stopping that. We can't compete, we can't compare. 2, you feel behind because your friend sees further. Baby, you're seeing what you can see. You don't know what he, she, or they, them are going through behind the scenes. It's like with my friends. I'm like, yeah, y'all see it, but baby, y'all don't really know what's going on. You know what's going on from what I'm telling you or showing you, but you don't know how long this may really hit. You're making decisions based off what people expect. Got to stop being people pleasing. This is your life, not theirs. You went to school for that. You went to the academy, whatever, the trade school with all that. This is your life. You signed up for that. Not them. Don't do these things because your parents or guardians, whatever's telling you to do so. Do what you're told and your heart desires. Your heart, mind, and soul desires for you to do. You're afraid to start because you don't know where exactly how it's going to end. First of all, that's what I love about fairy tales. Once upon a time, the fairy tale may not start off good, but towards the end, the happily ever after will come. And in the middle, that's why in the beginning, the middle, and the end of any part of your life, you have to enjoy and embrace that chapter of your life. Enjoy the small wins, the big wins. Even when things go left, you're learning as you go to see how can you handle that pressure. But most importantly, how can this make you stronger? Because once you're at the bottom, all you want to do is go to the top. You're beating yourself up for changing your mind. When changes are meant to happen, changes are meant to happen. You can't get comfortable with certain things. Okay, if you got to relocate, you got to do something, you got to do that. It's impacting your peace of mind. Going back into August is wellness month. Things impact with you. I know I feel like, dang, I do not want to change my mind. Like I feel like, dang, I'm changing my mind, but you have to do what's necessary for you. And if your gut is telling you we need to change gears, shift the tempo, do so. Because your gut, you know yourself before the next person can. It's like, when your parents say they know their child and stuff. Yeah, but you know you. Parents, guardians, whatever. You know you more than anybody know you. Okay? You're overwhelmed by trying to plan your entire future. Stop right there. Short-term goals is meant. Long-term goals can be changed at any given time. Embrace it. Most importantly, be thankful for how far you have come. Stop asking my behind. Be able to say what's the right move for me currently. But also, too, within long-term goals, they can be changed every given time. Because you are the author of how you want your life to go. You're questioning whether you're actually making progress, baby. That's why you are in control to see every day the beginning, the middle, the end of whatever chapter or part in your life that you're accomplishing that is making sense to you. Like, does this make sense to me? Is this doing for me? And stop questioning because the proof is in the pudding. You're just not looking at it because you're trying to see the big outcome. No, appreciate the small one because the small one is helping the big outcome in the long run. You're allowing social media to make you feel unsuccessful. Baby, I love social media, how you can alternate how you want your alignments to be. You don't need to follow all these people that got it all together. Because sometimes, too, oh, Lord, with this ChatGPT, too, the little filter stuff, it also have you like, this is a real person. No, stop comparing. Stop competing when you can't compare. Social media is for anybody to be anybody. You can put anything and any and everything on there. But you gotta be mindful and be clear, like you can't compete when you can't compare. Some things work for people that may not work for you right in your timing, and vice versa. Like, people was like, you really did a podcast in 3 years. You had it for 3 years and tell nobody when it first dropped. And yeah. And you see all these other podcasts that just start and they ahead of you, technically. I'm like, it is what it is. But I can't compare my success to theirs because it's going to make me feel unsuccessful, and I'm not doing that. I'm going to give you your applause. I'm going to give you flowers when it's due, but I'm not going to allow social media to make me feel unsuccessful because I'm doing something and still doing it, and my time is going to come, and vice versa, my friend. You feel like everyone else has life figured out except for you. Like I said earlier, the outside looking in, you don't know how much the person on the outside is looking like. Dang, you probably got it all figured out. And lastly, you feel everyone... Oh, okay, that was the last one, y'all. You feel like everyone has life figured out, but you. No. And I said that too within the conversation I had with my mother. It's not. It's a different day and age for everyone. Like my mom, when she had me, it was a different day and age. My mom and dad was first time homeowners at their age. And they had me. Like certain things you have to do for you. It won't work for them. Like how the age my mom had me. I'm still with her. I'm still with my parents. I didn't move out. Yes, people think, oh, you have them degrees. You should be living in a nice house, making 6 figures, all that. I just graduated, babe. I think it just hit 3 months since I walked the stage. Yeah. June, July, August. It just hit 3 months. I'm in my career. calm down. Someone said he wins the race, okay? Sometimes you don't need another 5-year plan. You need to breathe and focus on today so you can be able to be equipped for tomorrow with understanding, with Glorilla. Every day the sun won't shine. That's why you're supposed to love tomorrow. Bad times don't last forever. After every storm, there's a rainbow, if you can see it or not. Okay? Where does this pressure shows up in real life? We're almost there, y'all. Well, this pressure can show up everywhere. School, whatever, trade school, whatever. What are you majoring in? What career are you going into? Oh, let's not talk about this again. But I'm gonna give y'all a little summary. Like I said, when I went to school, people was like, oh, you want to be a lawyer? You want to represent your city? Shut up. Then when I changed, oh, you a social worker. You gonna be taking away people's kids? That's child welfare. Learn the difference. Social work is expanded so many different ways. I just learned that we have a library social. There's a thing called library social worker. It's financial social workers. It's a social worker for sports, babe. All social workers don't take people's kids. All social workers don't work with kids. We work with elderly, the younger generation. Some just work with men. Some works with women. Some works with the LGBT community. So many different things. Stop playing. Okay? But when it comes to school, whatever trade, those things happen the most. Like, what are you majoring in, and what career you're going for? If they say, oh, that's crazy, good, that's not for you, it's for me. Thank you. Work. Feeling like you should already have your dream career. Baby, you got to start from the bottom, get the way to the top. Drake said it. Lord have mercy. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Okay? It all elevates. You got to take time in your life. It's not going to come overnight. Some people are overnight sensations, but baby, we're all not in the same boat. Relationships, feeling pressure to be married in a relationship or settling by a certain age. It's like when people say, what age you expect to have kids? I always said 30, and I'm not near 30. Well, I'm a couple years away from 30, but sometimes you got to stop putting a time limit. If it happens, it happens. Feeling pressure to be married. Within the new generation too, social media has thing where, oh, I need to be married. I need to know, okay, when I'm married with my man, we're going to be good. And one woman, whoever, no. Or be in a relationship. You just can't put yourself in a relationship with a person just to say you're in a relationship, especially if you don't love that person genuinely or you don't like them. As well as being settled down at a certain age. No. The biggest one, money. Money is the root of all evil. I say evil. Comparing your finances situations to people who appears to have more. Like I said, social media, your family and stuff, people create the image they want for themselves because for others. The word I like to hear is braggadocious. People won't brag all day long about the money they do so they can make you feel like, oh, you're less than. But baby, just because you don't walk around in Gucci, Louis, Prada, and Balenciagas and Goyard bags all day, don't mean you have that. Doesn't mean that you don't have that same amount of money to get one of those. Don't you forget that. So stop comparing your financial situations to people who appears to have more than you do. Because it's a thing called copies, bootleg and stuff, whatever. And you're buying the name. People are buying the name and not the quality of it. They buying the quantity, not the quality. But hey, I'm not judging. But with money is the root of all evil. People won't sit there and try to compare your finances to them or trying to get one up on you. But it's like, baby, yeah, you got that Goyard bag, but I bet you ain't even got $100. I bet you ain't got $1,000 in your bank account. In your savings. Now let's move on. Family, hearing questions about what you're doing with your life. First and foremost, if you ain't hear from my mouth, then I don't know what to tell you. He say, she say, they say, hearing questions about what you're doing with your life from others, and they telling you, if you ain't hear from the horse's mouth, I'm not going to tell you. Social media, watching people announce promotions, graduations, engagements, businesses, and accomplishments, starting families and all that. Do not feel like you're behind because right now it's not your time. Trust me, you're going to get there, and somebody's going to feel the same way. Mental health, feeling anxious because you believe you should have everything under control. That's me. That makes my mental go up sky high because I feel like I should have everything under control because I'm the oldest. All these things, whether it's possible. Because once you do that, it's going to stress you out. And you don't want to do that. Lastly, your personal growth. Being frustrated because you're not changing as quick as you expected. You feel like once you at a certain age, you should be at a point where things are changing slowly but surely, but it's not happening. It's not. That's why you do not have to feel like you have everything figured out right now. It comes with the territory with how your life is set up. You are in control of it. You are the director. You know what's for you, you know what's not. Because sometimes the pressure isn't coming from others. Sometimes it's coming from the expectations we place on ourselves. Them long-term and short-term goals. Like for me, I had long-term goals that I'm still erasing slowly but surely, because when you're pressuring yourself to have it all figured out, it's going to hurt, because it's impossible to have it all figured out. You don't have to have it all figured out. You have to all let it work out though. Even if the first plan didn't go good, long as something's going good, it's better to have something good than not having anything at all not go good. Okay? And lastly, why is this important? Why does trusting your journey matters? Because consistently rushing yourself can cause you to make choices that look good to everyone else, but it don't actually feel good for you. It's like you're people pleasing everybody around you, and everybody's saying, oh yeah, this, that. But it's like, in the end, it's not for me. You're putting on the mask for everyone. You're doing what's for them. That's people pleasing. You're not doing what's for you. You got to do what's for you. Yes, your parents might want you to go to Harvard, but you probably want to go to Howard. Whatever the case may be, you got to do what's for you. They want you to be a nurse. Shoot, you probably want to be a dancer. You probably want to be a ballerina. They want you to be a basketball player, but you want to play football or baseball. You got to do what's for you. Don't sit in this lifestyle for others because they see that for you. You got to see what's suit best for you. When you are disappointed, in these things too, it will hurt even more. But when you are, to a point that you're, let's see how I want to put this. You are disrupted in a replica to prove that you're not behind. You may accept opportunities, relationships, careers, or lifestyle simply because you think you're supposed to. No, you have the right to say no. If you're not comfortable with how this relationship is going, this opportunity, this relationship, career, this lifestyle, you think it's supposed to go, but deep down it's like, I can't live this lie. I'm living in a lie. I'm not living in a life that it feels real to me, like this the real deal. You have the right to say no. That's where you can lose yourself to keep up with someone else's definition of success. Everyone else's definition of success is different. My definition may be different from yours, and that's totally fine. That's how life goes. We don't have to be on the same page. We could be going to school for the same thing or be in the same category. The umbrella is whatever it is. Let's say podcast word. I always love saying this. Podcasting. The raindrops is the different categories or topics. Me, Vitamin with E, mental health, real, raw, and uncut. Somebody else could be about drama. Some could be about crime. We're all on the same umbrella, but we're in different categories impacting the whole ordeal. Within my role, a social worker, it's so many different social workers. You got the geriatric social workers, hospital social workers, school social workers, financial social workers, library social workers, therapists. The umbrella is social work, but we're all under different things. Okay? Trusting your journey doesn't mean sitting around doing nothing. You got to put in that work. It's in order for it to all work out. It means taking action while accepting that you may not know exactly where every step will lead to. You can work towards your goals while remaining open to change. Trust me, y'all, I was hurt at first, but it's like change is meant to happen. That's the way it is. And that's the way the cookie gonna crumble in order for you to learn what you can take, what you can't take. And it's okay to outgrow things. Shoot, your taste change, your demeanor change. And it's meant for the best. And even if it's not, if you gotta go back, do so. But just do what's necessary for you. And you ain't gotta let everybody know. You can work towards your goals while remaining open to change. That's what I'm doing. I'm saying you have to keep an open eye and open ear, because you never know, things may happen. You might got to switch the gears. You might got to say, all right, let me park in here. Let me go up here. You can have ambition without having everything mapped out. You can be uncertain and still move forward. You can have ambition without having everything mapped out. You can be uncertain and still be moving forward. Okay? And we're going to repeat today's quote of the week. Hold on, y'all. I gotta pull it up again. We gotta pull it up again. Okay, here we go. Quote of the week. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to trust yourself enough to take the next steps. With that, and focusing on the focus that we said, letting go of pressure, embracing uncertainty, and most importantly, trusting your journey, doing for you and only you. Okay? With that being said, I thank you all so very much for vibing in with me. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if not, it's okay, it's all right. Tell a friend to tell a friend as well. And most importantly, today I want you to stop asking yourself, why am I not further along? And start asking, what can I do with where I'm at right now? Because you're probably doing better than you think. You don't need to know how the entire story ends to keep turning the page. You don't need everyone's approval to change direction. You don't need to have the perfect plan before you begin, and you definitely don't need to compare your behind the scenes to somebody else's highlight. Real. Give yourself permission to figure it out. Take the class, apply for the job, start the business, change your mind, take the break, ask for help, try again, and most importantly, you are allowed to become while you're still figuring it out. Okay? And as always, once again, I thank you all so very much for taking the time out of your busy day. Hope you enjoyed, and if not, it's okay. If you got to come back, we're going to do so. And most importantly, keep in mind that sometimes you got to do what's for you. Not sometimes, all the time you got to do what's for you. But most importantly, you don't have to have it all figured out. Okay? Please enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your week, but most importantly, the rest of this month of August impacting wellness. I wish you all nothing but the best, and you guys will hear from me next Wednesday, which is the last Wednesday of the month. Until next time, bye.